Good afternoon, Flay. This is Mike with Thrive. Welcome to March's SEO Performance Report. Just as we do every month, we review several key performance indicators, and we do this to see how overall our campaigns are doing and to keep track of the health of the overall website. So diving right in with tradition, our first metric that we look at is our top 5 keywords. Again, those are our top performing keywords because they are on page 1 and they're within positions 1 through 5. So this is going to represent the majority of your Google traffic, and that's looking at a non-branded and branded basis. So topping off at 167 for March, that's slightly up from 2020 from 161, and then slightly down from last year, 2021 at 183, but right there in the middle. So not too shabby there in terms of holding on to our keywords that we've had an increase looking back from like the May of 2020. So still maintaining above 167. We're really matching it right here from when these numbers here in this month, which is October of 2021. So looking pretty good in terms of the overall mix. Let's take a look at what the keywords are. Let's look at the traffic sources and then look at some of the individual sources that contribute to the overall mix. I do apologize, Flay. Our keyword ARW report is malfunctioning, so I pulled our Ahrefs report on a keyword basis, looking back in the last 30 days. Looking at our keywords, we examined them under 2 situations, one being our branded, so that contains Winsystems and all the variations, and our product location, for example. And then we look at our non-branded keywords. So looking at some movement, we see the PC 104, that moved up a notch to number 6. And that's as recent as April 2nd, so that was a positive movement. Our single board computer is stating position 9 moving down 2, but it's actually still lower than that. We did find some issues with that category page in terms of core vitals. So once we justify that, we're working on that as we speak. We should see the rankings actually kind of return back to where they were, at least towards the middle of page 1. Moving 2 positions up to number 3, fog computing versus edge computing. We do see some volatility with that keyword. And moving through SBC, PC 104 moving to number 1. Some stability here in the middle of the page. And then computer board maintaining the bottom page 1. And you see our branded keywords here maintaining their top positions. That's been the theme for quite some time. So some positive movement in the PC 104 area, as well as our fog computing, more of our informational keyword there with our fog computing versus edge computing. Our next KPI is total sessions. Total sessions is calculated by all sources. And that includes organic, direct, other. As we see for the month of March, we actually had an all-time record for that month, far surpassing 2021 and 2020 at 11,307. So that was great, inching closer to the all-time February 2021 at just about 12,000 sessions for that month. But the trajectory is looking good there. So I'm forecasting that we'll surpass April's as well, especially when we bounce back from the single board computer and some of those themes that actually moved down from page 1. Let's take a specific look at the sources, some of the behavior with those traffic sources in our next slide. Okay, I've loaded our SEO Progress report here. In this screen, as we see, we're just looking at a 31-day duration, taking the last bit of January and applying it to February, just so we have some even comparison dates due to February being a very short month. You see our 9% increase overall in the all traffic. Organic was pretty steady at 3187, not too much of a deviation. Looking here again, pretty steady. What's interesting is the other traffic. This is typically our Facebook traffic significantly up month over month. What also is interesting, it's also just the amount of new users. So Facebook, or we might have had a situation where we lost some session tracking. So a lot of times they get pulled into other and direct when that happens. So, but not really seeing that, because you see a pretty big deviation from direct. So some interesting numbers there to take a look at. My suspicion is that this is Facebook and we're running a new campaign. We're seeing the results of that. And then again, it would also be indicative up here on the social side. So again, I'm really thinking that somehow we're losing some sessions that are from the organic and direct. But I'm going to look further into that and see how that traffic behaved and where it originated from. Looking through our top landing pages, this was pretty consistent. Our home page typically comes out at the top of the list here, followed by our fog and edge computing. Nothing really to report here. And then diving into our conversions, pretty steady, 72 and 73. I like to see that because even though February is a short month, we still converted on average per day better. And then we actually surpassed that in a longer month in March. So that's a trend I like to see. One thing concerning that's dragging my eye is the conversion rate. That's really come down a lot. We had it almost at like 1.3%. And in its heyday, it was looking really good. So I'm going to examine that. I have a feeling that other traffic has something to do with it, especially Facebook, since Facebook takes a little while to convert from their initial visit to to either giving you their email or contacting you to make a purchase. So we'll look at that. And then going through our top completed goals, our conditional contact form usually is the top of the list there, but we had a nice increase in the click to call header, an 18% gain over last month. So that was welcome to see, and it's really good to see the consistent amount of leads. I know we want more, but it's good to see that even in a short month and versus a long month, it's pretty consistent. And my all-time goal is to hit that 100 mark. So it's looking consistent for the past 60 days. So that's pretty significant. So looking through again, really good to see the all traffic up. I'm going to look at that other traffic, deep dive it through the analytics and see the behavior there. My suspicion is that some of this belongs to these other groups. What happens is that sometimes when they come from Facebook or another channel, they lose that session traffic, that session tracking cookie from Google. And then once it doesn't have anywhere to place the traffic, it automatically throws it in other. So when it doesn't know, it says all of the above, essentially. So again, more to come on that. And that concludes our reporting for this month, Flay. I want to thank you for your attendance. We really appreciate you as a client, as I really enjoy working with you guys. And we're working very hard to make our April more successful for you guys. With that said, thanks again, Flay. I look forward to speaking with you, and I hope you have a pleasant rest of your day.